That's the difference. Some people just show up. Some people have already negotiated with themselves that they just show up all the time. They don't give a fuck if it rains. They don't give a fuck if it snows. They don't care if they're tired. They don't care if they feel a little sick. They don't care. They show up. And you gotta make a deal with yourself, right? Because if you make that deal with yourself and you're like, hey, I'm gonna do this every day, I'm gonna show up, and then you don't do it, no one fucking cares. No one fucking cares if you don't show up every day, except for you. And you know what you start to do? You lose trust in yourself. You do that over and over, and guess what? You don't even fucking trust you. So then when you say you're gonna do things, guess who doesn't fucking believe you? You! Now, if you don't believe you, if you know in your fucking heart you're not gonna do it, do you think anyone else fucking believes you? No. Then what? Then what? Why do we do really hard things? Why do we run? Why do we train? Why do we put ourselves in resistance? Why do we fast? Why do sometimes I put in really long days when I don't want to? Because I gotta remind myself that I'm the captain of this fucking ship. Because this ship doesn't want to do the things that I want it to do. Sometimes I can't steer it. Sometimes, I gotta remind the ship that I'm the fucking captain by putting it through some fucking rough water. Guys, we cover so much in this video. We're gonna start out with me going to sit with my boy and watching this log cabin be built. We're gonna finish with something exciting. So I realized something funny the other day. People are asking me about like why Sawmill? Like when did the Sawmill thing come about? Yeah. And I was trying to think, and I was like, well, I know that like my great grandfather had a sawmill. He was a shipbuilder in Newfoundland. Right? And I'm trying to think, I'm like, yeah, but like, when did that idea, and I think when I was like 6 or 7, we went to Newfoundland, and we went back to the old sawmill place and like walked through the woods where it was at. And I was like, that's when it happened. That's when that sawmill idea got put in my head, and now here we are, however many years later.
That's cool, man.
When did custom-built log cabin happen for you? How long have you been dreaming about this, Daniel?
So, I'll take you back to summer of 2003, all right? At the time, I was living in California on the Central Coast. Then I was 17. I'm 37 now.
Ooh, I was 17 in 98.
98 was a good year.
98 was a very good year.
Nintendo 64 came out that year. I think California Love with Tupac and Dre came out that year.
Yeah, I was a punk rocker then. I remember that was like my third year at Warped Tour. So 2003.
Yeah, so uprooted my life out of California, right? And so my mom lost her job at the time. She was working in the school district, but we had an uncle who lived in Montana. And he's like, well, why don't you guys just come up and live with us? And so my mom picked my brother and I up from California, moved us to Montana. And when we got to Montana, I realized that my uncle lived in this immaculate, beautiful log home on top of a mountain. And my uncle was a master craftsman, and so he built the home himself. And so my first introduction to Montana was the trees, the mountains, a log home. And so in my head as a young man, I was like, well, that's how you do it in Montana. That's how everybody must live here. And so from a young age, man, living in a log home was just the way that I wanted to do it myself. And sometimes dreams lie dormant. And I kind of forgot about it for a while as I went on about my life, but that dream just kind of revived itself over the more recent years, and I started really putting together a plan to make it happen by thinking about what I wanted in a log home and where I wanted to put it and what I wanted to do with it, how I wanted to decorate it, and through all of that has kind of come to the point that we are today with this freaking thing going in. Man, it's really cool.
Insane.
It took me 20 years.
It's insane.
20 years. 20 years.
I should not be here today.
What do you mean? Why not?
I'm home for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm home for 24 hours, and as I was leaving the office, Drew's like, where you going? And I was like, I'm gonna go watch Dan's log cabin be put together. And he was like, wait, what?
That's a terrible idea.
He's like, you just got back from Utah, you're home for 24 hours, and you're gonna go sit and watch a cabin? Yeah. If I'm looking at my time, I feel like it's the most valuable thing I could possibly do right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I could finish a design up or take Zoom calls, or I could go out and lose service and at least take 2 hours to watch this, right? Shit.
And that's what makes you one of my greatest friends.
You know?
And I appreciate you.
Dude, I appreciate the honor. I like that I have maniac friends that do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So this amazes me.
Yeah.
But essentially, log by log, they build it, label it, and bring it here?
Yeah. So what's interesting is this house has already been built once, and then it's been taken down. So the way that these homes work is they're built by an Amish crew in Libby, Montana. And
this is out of Libby?
Out of Libby, yeah,
nice,
yeah.
Nice.
So they build them up on their pad, and then they make sure all the logs fit into place. They number and letter them. You can kind of see on each log it has a number and letter, so they know exactly where in the build that it goes. And then they disassemble it, pack it all up, and then they ship it to your location. And then they rebuild it up on your foundation.
That's why it's gone up so fast.
Yeah, it's already been up once, man. So This has been a really cool process to watch. Everything is numbered in letters, and there's even smaller little subtleties that will help the installers know exactly where the log needs to fit on top of the one right below it with like a little bit of a notch mark. And so when you go to set the two logs, all you have to do is align those notch marks, and you know exactly where the log needs to be.
So dope.
It's just so quick, man.
Because we're in the middle of nowhere right now.
Oh yeah.
Like people think I live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Until I drive to your house, which is 40 minutes deep.
Yep. And good thing I'm extremely rich and
Yeah. You inherited all that money.
That's right.
That made this easy.
That's right.
Everything's easy when you inherit money, bud.
That's it, man. You see the archway in the kitchen starting to come together right there. That's the other thing I like about the log homes is while you have these like really profound like 90-degree corners, you also have like the rounded archways and then like the subtleties in the log that like give them character, like the open burls that are on the inside of this wall that really just make a log home special and unique. No two logs are the same in this whole project, and these logs, they're Engelmann spruce logs, which is like one of the most popular type of logs to use because man, they just last a long time and they really hold their shape and they're dense and can really hold in heat well.
So, you know, the first thought I had when I used my Sawmill?
What's that?
Other than like, I love it and everything, my first thought was like, I need to build my own house. Because it does, it cuts down like that. And the second I cut the sides off, and I was like, man, if I just rip this bark off, like,
I can have me a house.
I'm pretty close to nothing, but I don't know.
When are you gonna build you a house? It's on your mind. It's got to be.
There's
right?
a lot of things on my mind, man. There's a lot of things
I go back and forth from. So like, it's weird because I used to think I'm impressionable, and I saw that as like a weakness, and now I realize I'm just passionate about everything, and whatever's in front of me I'm very passionate about. So we can call that impressionable or whatever, but I think like being there that last weekend, and seeing like the impact that we're making on people by coaching and by doing what I'm doing and being on the move and ripping, I have this desire to fall off the grid and like build my own house and just, retire on the money that I have. Then I go to something like this weekend, I'm like, now it's like, I feel like it's my duty to go maximum through everything.
Yeah.
So when I say maximum through everything, like building a house goes in the back burner, and it's more like I need a jet to travel faster, to get places more, to do more, to show people like maximum life. So I don't know, man. I don't know if right now is the right time, or it's so crazy.
Well, when that time comes, man, it's going to be just right.
It's going to be really cool.
It's going to
be the right time, and it's going to be really cool. I don't feel that it's the right time right now. So I was at breakfast the other morning with my dad, and our dad. My brother's back here measuring. And this is another thing that Dad doesn't understand. So I was at breakfast with Dad, and he said, "What's your exit plan?" And I was like, What do you mean? And he's like, "When are you gonna stop?" I was like, Stop what? He said, "You're just busy all the time. Like, you're always doing something, and you have so much work. Like, when are you gonna retire?" And I was like, What do you mean, man?" He's like, "Just stop doing this work stuff." And I was like, "Bro, like, not only do I get to work with my brother, work with my wife, but we get to design, like, not only design like every stitch, every zipper, every piece of branding, every facet, every message. We get to design everything and come out with it in really cool new colors like Banderante Green that's gonna be dropping on Black Friday. But like, after we design this and work through all the kinks and test it, then I get to like come in here and shoot it, make it look as cool as possible. Like I get to do all of my skill sets that I love. And I was like explaining that to him, and he's like, "Yeah, but like you're so like just so much work." And it clicked that there's people out there that work jobs that like they don't like at all. And like they wake up every day and they go in and they could give a fuck less about that job. And I realized that's Dad. Like he hated his job and counted down his whole life to retire.
40 years.
For 40 years. For 40 years. So I really just want you guys to take two things from that. Today I'm shooting the Bro Bag Pro Bag. I gotta get better at that. It was a slight change in name because we changed it slightly. So the belt wraps through the bag. It's essentially the ultimate gym bag. We're waiting until we get the freight pack out to do that because the freight pack's delayed, so everyone's sort of losing their mind, which I get it, they're excited. Shooting that today, getting this bag out tomorrow, and then that drops Friday. But fuck, man, what do you mean exit plan? I hope you guys are enjoying what you're doing for your work, for your livelihood. Like I hope there's some passion in it. Bag shipping day. The day has finally arrived. We're a little bit late, but it's okay. Trying to keep the warehouse as clean as possible. We have all hands on deck today. So we've got the print shop out here. We've got HR. We've got people from other brands that we own. We have my brother. Everyone. Everybody's out here. We're about, I think, 13 days late on these bags, but they're going out.
they're going out. So I think one of the coolest things that we've got feedback on is the packaging. I don't think people were really ready for how cool the packaging was going to be. First of all, I want to apologize for the delay, but we have really good news, and that is that the Momentum Freight Pack will be shipping to you today. Moving forward, that's something I'm going to sort of make a priority is packaging. Actually, the clip before this, I talked about my dad, and my dad actually called me this morning when he saw the bags come in, and he said, "Hey man, the other day at breakfast, I really didn't mean to make it weird by saying, what's your exit plan? How are you going to retire?" He's like, "Just when you get older, that's what you think about." I said, "Yeah, man, it's all right, but listen to my life." I mean, last week, I was hanging out with Tim Grover, you know? Like, I'm getting to design packages and work with amazing staff and really do everything that I love. Work in a studio, work in a gym, work with my family. And I was like, "I understand that's not a normal thing." And he was like, "Well, I understand that." He's like, "I didn't realize that at first, but I understand that now." And watching these packages get boxed up and shipped out, all the hard work that we've done, everything and then also like knowing the feeling that people are gonna have when they open these. When this box right here gets to somebody, or these mystery boxes get to someone and you open it, the experience that they're gonna have, how this is gonna incorporate into their everyday life, man. Why would you ever want to retire from that? So as the team ships, I'm gonna take photos of the patches on all the bags. So I'll be out here in the studio for a little bit, doing my thing.
I kill when I'm hungry. I'm a fucking animal. I'm a fucking animal. I'm a fucking animal. I'm a fucking animal. I'm a fucking animal.
Guys, Rob Bailey, Jake Hill, Lane and Ammo. Pouring rain tonight, and we have a Redcon shoot. Redcon is doing a collab with Mossy Oak, and we were supposed to ride the horses, but it was pouring rain and hailing, so we decided not to ride the horses. We decided to do something better. So I've been getting, before I show you what we're doing, I don't want to reveal it yet. So I've been getting the farm ready. It's been a lot of work trying to get it ready for winter. So moving a lot of stuff back to the woods, covering stuff up.
Walk like I built this town. Steps so light, I barely touch the ground. Everybody wants to know how. Brick by brick, I put them in the ground. Walk like I built, walk like I built this. I do it for my people, family business, and everybody wants to know how.
And one of the main things I need to do is start milling my lumber so I can build my overhang for the sawmill. We're back, look at all these cameras back here. I'm filming on my fucking cell phone. But we got our little camp set up. I finally made a bench like I wanted to, and the sawmill's back here in the woods. This is the Redcon media team. It's a lot of them. It's very expensive equipment. I guess for this Mossy Oak scene, we're gonna teach Dana how to use the sawmill. There's a lot going on here, buddy.
Pretty cool life, dude.
Yeah. So I just taught Dana how to use the sawmill. I think she's hooked. Oh, buddy, go ahead. You got that. You're strong enough to get that. Oh, wow. All right, I don't have a tape measure. That's pretty square. What is that? And that's like an 8x8 day?
Perfect.
So we're gonna cut, we got an 8x8. Let's cut every 2 inches. So we'll have 2x8s.
I want to cut this top part.
No, that's fine. You wanna cut 2x8s? I'll teach you how to cut 2x8s.
Do it in half?
No, 2x8s. So we're gonna get every 2 inches we're gonna cut. So we'll get, so that's 1, 2, we'll get about 5 of them out of there.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Set up some lighting. And if none of this makes sense to you, I'm not sure if I covered what exactly this is, but Redcon's doing a really cool collab with Mossy Oak. This should match. I was actually, you guys know I was here when this idea came about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We were going to meet Aaron in prison.
Okay.
And we stopped at the gas station. There's a Mountain Dew truck, and the Mountain Dew truck was covered in camo. And someone said, I forget if it was Eric Hart or somebody was like, oh, we should do a collab like that. And I saw Ryan's head go, brrrr, and next thing you know, boom, Mossy Oak collab, which is the coolest collab you can possibly do. So I'm gonna take a little break and eat this bar. Because if you haven't tried these bars too, whole food bars, they are fucking awesome. All right, now we're going. We got Dana over there.
Well, you know, after you're milling, you need
After
to...
your sawmill and you just got your bottle of
gotta get
protein
your
in the
swole
woods.
on.
We can't be not jacked. We got to carry. Who's going to carry the logs?
That's why you need your MRE light.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
Holy! I've always dreamed of doing a nighttime photo shoot for Mossy Oak with my wood miser. You know, we all have dreams, and this is apparently one of them. So we're cutting rough 2x8s here. That's really nice. Want to run another one? Yeah. We got 2 more out of that day. I've never eaten a bar on camera, but I'm used to taking like giant bites, but then I have to chew it like a Neanderthal, and I feel like that doesn't look good on film. So we're gonna take dainty bites and smile. See, I told you. That was a wild ride. Holy moly.